Alright, so let's face it. We have either all been here before, or we probably will be one day. That is a flat tire on the side of the road in the middle of nowhere. And whether or not you have a car full of screaming kids or it's just you, I'm sure you want to get back on the road as quickly and safely as possible. So here are the steps on how to do it. So your first step is to pull over in a safe and somewhat flat location. You want to make sure you have your hazard lights on, or if you're in an area that requires it, or even if it doesn't, put a traffic cone off behind you. Make sure that no one's going to rear end you. Step 2 is to find all of your tools. I have a scissor jack for my Jeep. It's the only thing really capable of lifting it far enough that I'd have other than a high lift jack, and I'll let you know. I also have a star wrench. These things are awesome. It's 4 different sizes, so I've used this to help other people out as well. My Jeep comes with it. This is made to break the lugs, although I'll be using this so I don't have to keep taking this apart back and forth, save some time. Alright, and of course you will need your spare tire, which is right there. Your third step is to break your lug nuts, which are these bolts right here that hold your tire on. And also, before you lift the vehicle, you want to make sure it's ready to do so. Since I'm just doing the rear tires, I'm going to leave the parking brake on, leave it in gear, and it's preferred to chock the front tires, but let's face it, which of us actually carry chocks around? Let's do it. Now, for lighter people, you probably have to use your foot to put it on there, and you can bust it loose pretty easily like that. You don't want to pull them all the way off here because you just break them loose, because if you lift the vehicle first, then it's harder to break it loose because your tire can free spin a little bit. So your next step is to safely lift the vehicle. Now, you want to do this as much as needed, but as little as possible. So the tire coming on is of course going to require a little bit more space, so I'm going to lift the tire all the way off the ground, plus about 3 or 4 inches so I can fit my new tire on. Now, every vehicle is different. Please refer to your owner's manual for this. But as you can see right there along the rear axle, that's where my jack goes. A lot of vehicles, like I know my old BMW had jack mounts right here on the underside. Back to jacking it up. So your next step is to remove the tire. In order to do that, you need to remove your lug nuts first. So they're already broken loose, so this part's pretty easy. Just spin them off. So now that the tire is completely loosened, you want to make sure you put your lug nuts in a safe location so you don't lose them. Pull it off, let gravity do the work. Only suspended by the jack. What I've always been taught to do, and it makes perfect sense, is you're going to lay the tire down beneath the vehicle. So if something happens and your vehicle shifts, your tire will catch it and take the damage away from your brake assembly and put the weight on the frame where it should be. You just line up the bolt pattern, get one on, then kind of just twist it till you get a second one on, then push it on, wind up. I like to put my foot up against it, my hand up here, take a lug nut, put it on a little bit, and then I just do the one at the bottom now, one at the top, and then the sides. Our next step is to tighten the new tire. Now, I'm about to describe the star pattern. You're going to start at one of the top sections or anywhere really. You take the one across from it, then the one across from it, then the one across from it, and then the one across from it. So now comes step 8, which is lowering the vehicle, and then step 9, retightening in the star pattern of the tire. Step 9 is most important because if you don't do that right, your tire can fall off while you're going down the road. So I've moved my tire out of the way, so now I can lower the vehicle successfully. I'm going to do my star pattern again. This time, you really torque it down. I'm going to repeat the full star pattern twice. Step 8 was to finish tightening the vehicle. Step 9 is putting all your tools back in the proper place, including your spare tire. There's a few more things we need to talk about other than step 10, which is driving way safely. Alright, so most modern cars have a feature called ABS, anti-lock braking system. It's very important that if you do have ABS, that you take, and you do not have a full-size spare, that you take your rear tire, move it to the front, and then put your spare on the back. Because ABS needs both front tires to be the same in order to work. This fits flat stuff works amazing. as long as you have an air pump as well. So you need to have one of those little 9-volt air compressors or a little foot pump. So you put this in your tire, pump it up, and as long as the hole's not too severe and it's not on the sidewall, you should be good to drive slowly till you can get the tire patched or replaced. Alright, that brings us to the final point. Once you're done with this, if you don't go get your spare tire checked out, replaced, or whatever, then you're pretty much going to be out of luck if it happens again. And also, you need to check your newly placed spare tire, even if it still looks brand new, for dry rot. Because let's say you're going 80 miles an hour and your rear tire blows, you're probably going to flip. So that's pretty important. Check the tire over, make sure it's good to go. So drive moderately till you can get it replaced. That's it. If you have any questions, just let me know. That's how to change a tire 101, Ron Murray style.